fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am once again live for the Wednesday evening chat. Was this planned? No, it was not. But I want to go live because I want to reach out to you guys, each and every one of you guys that comes through the channel, through the algorithms of however you saw me or reached me, or however you got this live stream. I salute you. I want to talk about Mr. Agit Kabayel. Agit Kabayel is in a situation where he's turned down a massive amount of money, as you guys seen. I don't know if you've seen the video, probably not. But Agit Kabayel has made a power move decision to turn down probably life changing money to fight Vladimir Klitschko. I'm talking about the Vladimir Klitschko with more knockouts than people have fights. That Vladimir Klitschko. I'm talking about the Klitschko that had a 9-year undefeated reign. That Klitschko. The Vladimir that was the guy that was regarded as the king of the heavyweight division. When the heavyweight division, no, it wasn't as popular, but it didn't stop him from being king. He still did his thing. Bars. Understand that. That Vladimir. The same Vladimir Klitschko that's been rumored to come back again and again and again that works out like a gym rat and you wonder why. Why do you work out like that? Why do you do what you do, Vladimir? Why do you stay in the gym like you do? Are you trying to tell us something, Vladimir Klitschko? That Vladimir. I get turned it down, and I want to talk about that decision he made for a minute. I don't think I did justice in the video because, like when you do videos, here's my thing. You say what you got to say that comes to mind at the time. I don't have scripted videos. I just don't do them because everything that I want to say, I want it to come right from here. You know what I mean? Transmitted from here, out here, right? To you guys. That's how I want it. So I try not to, even really think about it too much. I just turn that camera on and get to work because I want it to come out exactly the way it comes out. That's just me. I want it to be unscripted, unedited. You know what I mean? Sure, I can add things to it just to try to make it more professional. But the things I want to say is I want it right off the dome. And I don't think I did it good enough because each time, if I look back at a video, I'm looking at that shit and I'm like, you know what? Damn, I should have said this. Damn, I should have said that. You know what I mean? You guys give me feedbacks, especially reading the comments, which that's why I wanted to go live. So shout out to No Dis Dis. Who hit you with the ugly stick? I don't know. I don't know who hit me with the ugly stick. Bryce Productions. Hi. Jai. Okay. All in one. Search, please. Trip. Okay. Okay. There we go. I don't know what that means. So yeah. But anyway, ask Skip in the building. What's with these comments? I have no idea. But yeah, feel free to start doing your thing. Ask Skip in the building. Do your thing because that's one of the job requirements. That's one of the abilities that you have because we don't have time for that malarkey over here. We're talking about some boxing. We're talking about a top undefeated WBC interim heavyweight champion here. We don't have time for the other stuff today. You know what I mean? I've been on that magic mind. Ask Skip. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We don't want to freak off party. No, we don't need any of that, Kevin. We don't need any of that. And I think it's too much of that to even turn it into something to even talk about that. But again, Kabayel showed you, all right, how you really conduct yourself as a true champion. That's what he did. Most people go to pieces. Most fighters, especially fighters that haven't really got the notoriety, Most fighters that haven't got the opportunity, most fighters would sell out. That's a sellout move. You know, Agit Kabayel chose to do something that it wasn't the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing to do is to take that money and beat up a 49-year-old Vladimir Klitschko that may or may not be worth a shit. That would be the easiest thing to do because here's the thing. I get Kabayel fighting someone like Vladimir Klitschko. It's mad respect. You know, he lives in Germany. Vladimir spends a lot of time in Germany. That's where his gym is. That's where Vladimir, you guys should understand. Vladimir Klitschko used to take all those young fighters, Dillian White, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, many, many, many others. He used to take them over to Germany and just pretty much put them in like a boxing concentration camp and beat them the hell up. That's what he used to do. That's what Vlad did, bro. Revelation TV, Counterpunch to you in the building. Wesley Gamble, cheer up Kurt. Good fights are still going to happen. Absolutely. Boxing and wrestling is not real. No, the fighting is real. The politics aren't. The politics are real too. It's just corrupted. I think we need to see the difference between artificial things that happen in wrestling versus scripted things in boxing. Agit is the real boogeyman. Revelation TV. No argument here. None. Because the guy like Agit Kabayel, people are starting to understand. People are starting to wake up. You know what I mean? Saying boxing ain't real. No, boxing is very real. It's very dangerous. It's a dangerous sport because it does have corruption, because it does have things that may or may not get you whacked. You guys don't understand about boxing, which I'll talk about in a second, about corruption in boxing. It can be very, very dangerous. And that's something that, a lot of people don't talk about anymore, but it has to be spoken on. And we will speak on that today. Though the wins are predetermined, a punch can end it all. Yeah. So nothing's predetermined. All it takes is a punch. And understand, if you happen to land that right shot, that shot that normally doesn't get landed, but will or can land, that can change everything. Okay. I would love to see Agit versus Bakali if he can chop him down like Zhang. I would love to see Bakali versus Agit Kabayel. However, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to see Zhang versus Kabayel because nobody. Just think about it. And I can't say nobody because people did pick Kabayel to beat him because he's younger and fresher and all that stuff. But we thought that Zhang was just going to do his thing based on the aggressiveness that Kabayel had upon his fighters and anybody that goes to the body. You know what I mean? That can get countered. More than likely, someone gets countered trying to go to the body. That's how they get caught. They get hit because they're trying to go down south and they get hit up north. Okay. Please, brother, UFC by far is real deal. Okay. I mean, they can't both be real deals, Kevin. DJ Anton in the building. Good evening from South Wales in the building. Counterpunch to you. Nikki Blue Eyes Austin in the building. Good evening, Kurt, and everyone here. Don't forget to hit the like button. Let's get it. I haven't seen Kabayel fight a good mover yet. It's easy to land body shots on a big, slow fighter. I don't think he would be able to land on Usyk like that. Skip. That's a pretty good argument. Pretty good argument. I mean, here's my thing. Will we be able to see fights like that? And I don't know if did I just release that short? I'm not sure. Oh, got big news too about shorts. Big news coming to Counterpunch Boxing News, including shorts. The short days are going to be shortly over. Not over for good, just over for this channel. This is the mainstream brand channel. So shorts will be on another channel. I'm going to create another channel, Counterpunch Boxing Shorts. And there will be nothing but shorts on that. So for the people that love shorts, that's for you. So we're going to expand. But as far as real content, live streams, this is where it's at. I may go live on the short channel, depends on how big it gets. But yeah, shorts are becoming extinct on Counterpunch Boxing News. So enjoy them while you can because they will be on another platform. So there you go. So, but back to you, Ask Skip. I do think that he does need to be challenged, but I think most importantly, the guy at the top needs to take the challenge to give the opportunity for other fighters. See, it's easy, okay? It's easy to talk about our fight in Daniel Dubois because Daniel Dubois has already been challenged. He's already been tested by Usyk. It's easy to fight a guy you fought before. You know what I'm saying? But it's another whole different issue. It's a whole bigger question mark is what can you do with this guy that has known to chop people down to the body and you're accused of being weak to the body? That's something that people look forward to all by itself. You got a body punching guy that likes to apply pressure and can move well, that is not big, that we know about Usyk. We know his biggest challenges are not against bigger fighters. No, he uses his size very well against bigger guys, i.e. Fury, i.e. AJ, Dubois even too. But guys that are 6'2", 6'3", those guys probably give Usyk more of a problem. Just like I think shorter fighters give AJ versus taller fighters give AJ. You see what I mean? So, yeah, I want to see Usyk fight someone like Kabayel. I want to see that fight. So saying we haven't seen Kabayel fight a good mover, well, that's fair. We haven't seen Usyk fight someone like Kabayel either that loves to go to the body and attacks at will over and over and over again. So, yeah, come on. Jamal Weeks, that's why we don't watch it like we used to. We're tired of the not seeing fights we want to see. I do understand. It is frustrating. You do have my agreements in that. I do sympathize with you because it's fights that I've always wanted to see and we've never seen, and it makes you think like, it makes you realize that this is the sport that I love that I hate so much. Listen, I came up with that years ago. And it's almost like, okay, me reading, I'm in Books A Million. This is probably about 2003 or 4. And a guy like me, I used to go to Books A Million, and I used to read magazines. Ring Magazine, KO Nation, KO Magazine. A lot of things that you used to read. A lot of material. And what I noticed is you got these fights in these articles. You just turning back pages and you're reading about this fighter and you're turning and you're reading this fighter. And then you have an article on this fighter and you're learning. So I'm learning so much about these fighters, what they do, their training regimen. This is pre HBO 24/7 or All Access or Behind the Gloves or Face Off or any of that. This is none of that. This is what we did before if we were interested in the fighters themselves and interested in their lives and what they do and how they carry themselves, what they believed in. You know what I mean? Their integrity levels and all this shit, right? Their family and all that. You read magazines. And since I read these magazines, I've learned about a lot of fights that they were being mentioned in these magazines, just like the articles from Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms, that we will never really get to see. And if we do, they'll be too butt old for us to appreciate them actually happening, right? But we've seen those in magazine articles. And the more I read about possible fights that we want to see, just like we talk about now and here and day, right? The more it dawned on me, like, man, there's a lot of fights that could be made that won't be made. And they won't be made because of politics, and the politics suck. But boxing is very exciting. But then if we could get the exciting fights with the exciting fighters, we could all be happy. But it just hit me. It's the sport that I love that I hate so much because it's like I love it, but I hate it because it's certain things that you can do about it with boxing that will never be done because they will always think the people, not the fighters necessarily, but the guys that are in control of the fighters, the promoters, the networks, right? The managers, those guys are always going to think business first. So if they see a fight over there that's too tough and not enough money, it will never get made. George Foreman is the GOAT. Steven Fulbright, counterpunch to you. Arman, Agit is dangerous fight for any heavyweight solid contender. Amen to that. Amen to that. I think Agit would be a bad choice for Vlad. I think, yes. But then you have to understand if Vlad considered fighting someone like Agit Kabayel, you have to take your hat off to someone like Vladimir. I mean, Vladimir, you don't come back, right? You don't come back to the sport and fight one of you don't fight the boogeyman of the sport. That by itself is already impressive. Shout out to Vlad. Because Vlad could have fought Fabio. Vlad could have fought Efe Ajagba. Vlad could have fought Zili Zhang. He could have fought. He could have fought the loser of those guys. He could have fought someone just to tune up, and it shows you the confidence level that Vlad still has at 49. Bro, you're almost 50 years old. A good 50. I want to be that way when I'm 50. I want to be jacked, shredded. That's why I take the time and get it in the gym. Because by that time, I want to be, that buff old cat in the gym just walking around, just, you know what I mean? All this is white. All this is white chili. And I just want to be jacked. That's how I want to be in the gym for the next 30 years, right? So it is what it is. Usyk is weak to the body, though. Okay. Agit doing the right thing, staying focused on the target. Vlad hasn't been drawn by money. Salute to that man. Well, I'm glad he hasn't been drawn by money. Okay. Yeah, because a lot of people sell out. They sell out for the highest bidder. That'd have been Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury would have took that damn fight. Because he already said he would. You show me the money, I'll fight Vladimir Klitschko. Which someone that has a warrior code mentality would have never wanted to fight someone like Vlad because for one, it's disrespectful. For two, what does it gain? Why are you fighting Vladimir Klitschko at 49 years of age when for one, he ain't been in the ring since 2017? You know how fucking long that's been? That's been 8 years ago. 8. So this man ain't been in the ring in 8 years, and then you want to welcome him to a fight, and you've been around beating people up, and you regarded as one of the best. And I don't think the level is there. I don't think the respect is there, and I think that's a bad trade-off. So in other words, if you're sitting there saying I'm the best in the world, like Tyson Fury was, but then you welcome a fight where a guy that comes back into the sport, and he's probably down here somewhere, but for many reasons, age, activity, you know what I mean, ring rust and all that shit. So he's down here. So why would you welcome him a fight and he's down here? So that means you don't even want this man to get a tune-up. So that means you don't even want this man to help himself get better, to be a better challenge for you. You don't even want that. You just want the idea of, hey, yeah, bring him in here so I can beat him up. I don't get that. I don't get that at all, honestly. I get it's doing the right thing. All right, we already got that. Agit is a great boxer. Usyk versus Agit will be interesting. Yeah, I mean, you guys heard what Dave Allen said, right? I mean, maybe you didn't because, I don't know. I did the video today. The views are low. But, the algorithms are all over the place. I don't know what's going on. I've been researching, I've been calling, I've been emailing, been chatting. I don't know what's going on with them. I guess YouTube is only going to send what they want to send out. So, but Dave Allen has said that he feels, right, that Agit Kabayel is the guy to beat Alexander Usyk. Ask him. Don't get me wrong. I do like Kabayel and would love to see the Usyk fight, but I see Kabayel struggling to land anything big. But here's the thing. do you see Kabayel landing big shots though? I mean, how many big shots have you seen Agit Kabayel land? How many shots have you seen him land? Like boom! Oh, no. This man is not that type of fighter. You guys have to understand. Yeah, he can land some decent shots. They got some pop to him, but they're not bombs. These aren't Canelo Bolo punches. These aren't David Tuas. These aren't left hook Anthony Joshua's. These ain't Deontay Wilder right hands. All right? These are shots that are accumulative and they add up over time. The biggest punches that I've seen him land, maybe body punches, but he doesn't even land those really hard, to be fair. You know, so, think about that, right? I think you should understand the scenario with the style of Agit Kabayel. I don't think you guys clearly understand. He's not a one punch knockout artist. He's a guy that's a worker. He's tough. He's durable. He's active. He's busy. He's pressuring. This guy will go in there and get you in a bind and starts just throwing punches, just like he did Zhang. And then soon, yeah, those punches, start messing with Zhang. Zhang got a rice pasta belly, bro. That dude got a keg. He ain't got a six pack. He got a keg. And because he got a keg, he was able to absorb shots, just like Dave Allen mentioned in his own fight with Fisher. Because we all know Fisher is a good body puncher. He likes to commit to the body, which is a great approach to any fighter. Not if you don't got a chin, you don't. But it's still impressive to see because it shows you're a nice, balanced fighter. Okay, so Zhang had the belly, just like Bakali has the belly. That's why I think Agit Kabayel versus Bakali will be a good fight. But Zhang had the belly. Back to Zhang. Zhang had the belly, and Zhang was like, okay, I can take those shots. But Zhang thought to himself, like, look, while you're going downstairs, mister, I'm going to hit you and bang you. No diddy, right? So that's what he did. He started throwing shots to the body. He started she started throwing these bombs upstairs. Well, what ended up happening, he didn't anticipate Agit Kabayel being able to take those shits. And because he didn't anticipate that, he started finding out, hey, I'm getting tired. And these punches to the body are now starting to penetrate the fat back, the power fat, the blubber, the lard. You know what I'm saying? Boxing has been relatively good the last few years. It has. Kurt, I predict Turkey will make Agit versus Efe next. If it happens, I will pay. If it happens, I will pay. I will put my money on a Jagba. Interesting. Hold on a second. So, Revelation TV, that is a strong prediction. If it happens, I put my money on a jog. But you know what? I can see why you did that. I can see why you would. Revelation TV, good counterpunch. I'm going to tell you why. Efe Jagba showed us that you can beat fighters and you don't always have to fight a certain fight to appease a certain style contrary to yours. If that makes sense. Okay, let me give you an example. What we have to understand is fans. Understand that fighters fight a certain way to make it harder for the next guy to fight their way. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So, in other words, Martin Bakali, an inside fighter that likes to counterpunch, that throws punches, throws punches on the inside, heavy thudding shots, and he's not really a huge knockout guy. He can knock you out because eventually he's going to catch you with something that you don't see. And those some punches that you don't see will keep coming because Martin Bakali will throw punches in bunches. We've seen that in the Jared Anderson fight, the big baby fight. So that's him. Effie's whole game plan was genius. Okay, Martin, since you're a guy that likes to catch people on the inside and catch you slipping and catch you, off guard and catches you with shots that you don't see by counters, but all those punches that he threw, all those punches that he catches you off guard with, they're all punches that are either he's mid or he's closer inside to hit you with. If you got distance, if you have arm length distance from him, Martin McCauley won't be able to hit you with those shots because even when he steps in, if you spin out or you spin to the left or right and you're able to avoid him by distance, he's going to have problems. We saw that. We saw Martin McCauley struggle against Efe Ajagba. And Efe Ajagba had an answer for him. Okay, you're coming in, are you? Okay, so you're coming in with left hooks or you're trying to come in with the jab. I got a right hand for you. Because as soon as the gap you think you're going to close, I'm going to step away and create that same distance. But then that gap, that step you step into, you're going to be stepping into a surprise of a lifetime. See this right hand. Now, it was a fun fight to watch, McCauley versus Efe, but Efe was a guy that followed a game plan, that boxed, moved, and used power when he could and when he needed to. Okay, so Revelation TV, I can see why you said that because, Martin McCauley was sluggish, right? But I think he was heavy-handed. Shout out to Efe Ajagba for taking those shots because, he took some punches from Martin. But Efe also showed you how you don't have to fight on the inside to get a job done. Okay? So he kept the distance, kept the jab, kept throwing the right hand, kept keeping Martin McCauley honest. Now, can he do that with Agit Kabayel? I can kind of see how a fight with Efe Ajagba could be, especially with Efe knowing that this guy is coming in to work your midsection to give you the blues. Okay? He's going to give you the blues and he wants to break you down, take air out of those tires, and eventually put your ass on flat to eventually have you. You know what I mean? Kurt, let's see. Who avoided who in your opinion? AJ or Wilder? Always wanted to see their prime. You know what? I think looking at those two guys, I think their management stopped that fight from ever happening, honestly. It just speaks for itself. Eddie didn't care for Shelley. Shelley didn't care for Eddie. Lou DiBella tried to make the fight with John Skipper. That fell through. The $50 million was contingent on AJ dropping Sky Sports and not fighting on DAZN and fighting on Showtime in order for him to have that undisputed match, which it could have happened. But AJ had, contract with Sky, and how it was explained that AJ would have to cancel his contract, which he would end up being sued anyway. Nobody with common sense would just drop their contract with Sky, which was the biggest sports platform in the UK. Nobody would do that dumb shit. That's like Manny having to cancel his contract with HBO, which he just signed a $50 million deal or whatever with HBO just to fight Floyd on Showtime. Nobody does that. So, yeah, I think it was more of politics than anything else. Politics and ego from all sides, Mohammed Rayhan, salute Kurt. What do you think the world would get more views to Canelo versus Crawford or Fury versus Joshua? Mohammed, it all depends on where you're at to answer that. That's simple. If you're in the UK or you're in Europe, it's going to be AJ versus Tyson Fury. If you're over here in the States, if you're anywhere from Canada to Mexico, it's going to be Canelo Crawford. Period. Those are two different fights on two different continents, right? Two different areas. Okay, so Wilder's team clearly avoided. Okay. Gareth R. Davis, Reckless Fury versus Joshua will happen in October. Also predicts Moses Atoma will be the heavyweight champion by the end of the year. Well, who the hell is he going to fight? The only way that happens is Alexander Usyk beats Daniel Dubois and then gives up the belts. And then anybody and everybody could could be a champion. I get Kabayel, Joe Parker. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of people could be champion if Usyk decides to do that, which I don't see him doing. I think he likes the idea of being the reigning and defending undisputed heavyweight champion, and I think he wants the opportunity to fight or to defend those belts all at the same damn time, officially this time. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Vlad versus Kabayel would be a huge fight in Germany, so maybe that's why he wanted that fight. Maybe, because I think he's seen what Agit Kabayel has done. But again, shout out to Vlad for even wanting that fight. You know, Vlad wants that interim title so Suleiman can make it quick because he's going to put Agit for a long time until he order. Well, that is what it is. I think Vlad wanted that because of that reason. He wanted a quick way to the title. You're right about that. Kabayel, touch, boom. Yeah. Ines Amara, counterpunch to you. The WC would definitely rank Vlad if he asked. They only care about the money, which why Manny is getting a title shot after years out of the ring. That's true. It's all about the money over there. I think a Jogma versus Agit is the fight to make. Well, I don't think that fight will happen next. I think what'll happen, he hasn't forgot about Martin McCauley. There's a reason why Martin McCauley was gifted a draw. They want to run that shit back. They want to see what it is. And here's the thing about fighting these days, people. We all seen the Fisher versus Dave Allen fight. The Allen versus Fisher fight happened the way it happened. But we've also seen the rematch. So, hey, there is justice in boxing. Because even when you try the best to totally 100% corrupt boxing, this is what boxing shows you. That you can't always have it your way, especially when someone's throwing fists, you know, and putting answers to questions or possible stopping corruption, you know, by just using these. All right. Jay, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. MP, salute Kurt. Kurt be like all day, all night, on point. Man, thank you, brother. MP in the building. Bring on that jab. Bip, bip, pow. Low blow, pow. Wow. Thanks, Kurt. Much respect and the content. Appreciate you, brother. We got Muzz coming in with that buzz. Counterpunch to you. Bro, AJ Clowns, Wilder, let's stop pretending. Hey, I still want to see it. Shout out to Buzz for that first super chat in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Ruz Caesar. Incredible that Manny Pacquiao and his son are on the same bill. You know what? Yeah, I have a short that's coming pretty soon about that. Actually, that's the last short on this brand channel. So, you know, love it, live it, experience it. So there you go. But I'm in process of making a new channel, Counterpunch Boxing News Shorts. Okay, so that way you guys can enjoy shorts. If you want to see shorts, it's still the same man and still the same plan. Bars. So there you go. Yeah, I'm glad that Manny has his son there. And his son's so big, bro. Son's like 6, 17, 18. Son's grown. You know, looking like him and Jinky. More like looks like Jinky, though, to be fair. But yeah, that's his kid. You know, so shout out to Manny Pacquiao's boy. Who wins, Chavez or Paul? I'm not sure. I'm going to watch it, though. I'm going to watch it. Why not? Paul's entertaining. He talks shit, but, I mean, he can thump. You know, more than likely he's going to knock out Chavez. Chavez has to do something. I mean, it would be good for Chavez in his so-called career to try to salvage what, you know, he can in his career, honestly. You know, but it is what it is. When it was Canelo stopped when was it Canelo stopped anybody? He doesn't seem to have the killer instinct. Lee Foster, we'll see. Forget AJ versus Wilder. That's number 2 or 3 versus number 13 in this era. No point of it anymore. Well, I'll tell you guys this much. AJ versus Wilder would still be big. I think if they make it, people will still watch it. Will it? I don't think it'll ever be as big as it could have been, but you know, things happen in boxing, unfortunately, the way it happens sometimes. You know, um, but yeah, I think overall, AJ versus Wilder would still do big numbers. I don't know where it would be. I would prefer it being over here in Madison Square Garden. But honestly, people, I don't know if Anthony Joshua wants that shit. I mean, I think, you know, I want to be wrong. I want to be the guy, like, hey, because we haven't seen AJ in so long in the States. It's like, bro, you showed up one time, got beat, you never came back. I think it should be priority for you to optimize your total audience. You know what I mean? I think AJ needs to come back to the States. I think the second Ruiz fight should have been in the States. But of course, they had all that damn money out there in Saudi, so I can also understand that too. But, still, I wanted to definitely see how that went, you know? What's up, Showbiz? Yeah. Tommy Fury called out Jake Paul after his most recent win a couple weeks ago. Who wins a rematch? I don't know. I want to see it though. I think that would be. I think that will be something that should happen. You know, because if you're not going to fight other guys like Zerto Ramirez or Jaya Pataya or consider yourself one of those guys that is taking your career seriously, I think you should milk that shit to the bone. Milk it to the bone. I mean, hey, if you don't take your career seriously, if you don't feel that you want and you can make millions just being, the Star Island guy, Love Island guy, and let me fight these dudes that, make me only money, and I'm looking for freak fights or or fights that are not on the level because he's supposed to be a Fury. You know what I mean? That's Tyson Fury. That's Shane Fury. That's Huey Fury. You know what I mean? You're Tommy Fury. Bro, you supposed to show your house what your house is about. Not just making damn money. No, bro. You supposed to show that, hey, me, am a Fury. I don't need Jake Paul. Jake Paul needs me. I beat Jake Paul. You know what I mean? So yeah, he can demand more money, but after you whoop Jake Paul's ass, continue on your journey of true professionalism. Because if you don't know how to do that and you don't want to do that, you're not showing who you are as a Fury, and you are by default making your name, your house, your reputation of your family a farce. So yeah, I think Jake should want that fight, but I think Jake's having fun making more and more money. You make $40 million making Mike Tyson. How fun could you make? Man, I think Jake Paul just sits back and thinks, you know what? It had to be a reason how he resorted to Chavez Jr. Come on, bro. Chavez Jr., I think, didn't he quit his last fight or some shit? You know? Before I continue, Muzz, counterpunch to you, my brother. Coming in, AJ is a level above Wilder. I'm just saying, in my opinion, open to other ideas, though. How do you possibly see Wilder finding the opening on him? I just think AJ is way too careful for that. Well, appreciate the love. You guys get like Muzz coming in with that half a duh, right? Easy. How does he find an opening? How did Danny Dubois find an opening? What right hand equates one being better? A right hand is a right hand. If AJ left himself open for Dubois, you think he can't do it again? I wouldn't want him to. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, Anthony Joshua very highly disappointed me. You know what I mean? I think he's disappointed in himself, to be real with you. I think AJ knew, like, ugh. I bet you he looks at that fight and says, man, why the hell did I throw that fight? And the only thing I can say about that is, yes, it's his fault because he's the one fighting. But I don't feel Jesus Christ. I don't feel, I don't feel that AJ was coached the way he's supposed to. I just don't feel that. I don't think that he was coached the way, I don't think Ben was right for him. You know what I mean? And despite Derek James having a bad run, because hey, everybody blames the trainer when the fighter loses, and I think that's what happened with Derek James. Ryan Garcia got beat. Errol Spence got destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua then flew over and decided to work with Ben Davison kind of on a fly, and really wasn't. I don't even think was planned. Honestly, I think that kind of happened because it was more of convenience. Because oh well, I'm British and he's British. You know what I mean? And Tyson Fury's retired and all this, that, and the other. Right? So that became a thing on the fly. And because it became a thing on the fly, I think a lot of people just thought, oh, well, he's so much better and all this. But we've seen why, breakdown showed you why Derek James was a better trainer. Regardless of what his record was with his fighters, he kept AJ defensively responsible, guys. Muzz and company. Why? Because AJ wasn't doing that shit in the Franklin fight. He was getting hit with by punches with Helenius, but Helenius is 7 foot tall. Dude's 6'9" for real, right? And he has longer arms, so it was and he had an awkward style. That's how he chopped Adam Kalnaki out and ruined his career. You guys remember that? That wasn't that long ago. Adam Kalnaki was 20-0 with 15 knockouts. Now he's 20-5 with 15 knockouts because he's lost his next 5 losses. But who started that? Robert Helenius started that. You know what I mean? Because he was able to be tall and rangy and catch him from the outside. But if AJ wasn't careful, he got caught with shots, but sure. But he didn't get caught with the shots I feel he could have got caught with if he would have been fighting like with Ben Davison's instruction. Because Ben Davison told him some bullshit. You roll the dice. You gotta roll the dice, isn't it? Roll the dice, bro. And it's like, roll the dice. Tell him to keep his hands up. Tell him don't pull straight out. Tell him these things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Roll the dice meant you needed something big. I don't fault Ben for that. I fault Ben. If you're going to promote one thing to a fighter, you should be able to promote, hey, keep your hands up, though, because the dude is knocking the shit out of you. He's already put you down 3 times in this fight, Danny Dubois did. So keep your hands up, please. Defense should have been imperative instruction, but I don't feel that it was. I didn't hear any of that shit at all. I didn't hear any of that. So there, that being said, that's what it is. What's next for Conor Benn? I think Conor Benn should chill. I think, and I would love to see Conor versus Ryan Garcia. Conor versus, I don't know about Devin Haney. I'm not sure. Devin Haney, if he fights the way he fights, he's going to stink it up, bro. Kurt, is Atoma the next AJ? I don't think there's a next AJ. I think these fighters should stop doing that. Let's stop talking that way. You know why? Because that's the same thing that got these fighters over here in the Americas. Oh, who's the next Mayweather? Remember that shit? Who's the next Mayweather? And everybody talked about who's the next Mayweather, who's the next Mayweather. But at the same time, it's like, well, wait a minute. Everybody's trying to be Mayweather. Money. The guy that conducted fights. The guy that made huge fight purses. And he was blessed with this amount of fortune. But understand, before Money Mayweather, there was Pretty Boy Mayweather. The guy that wasn't even known. The guy that nobody knew about. The guy that nobody talked about. The guy that was undefeated. The guy that whooped everybody from 130 to 135 to 147 eventually, but he couldn't get those fights. Okay, until he was known. That was Pretty Boy. Okay? So if everybody's trying to be like Money Mayweather, but you don't know what Money Mayweather went through to become Money Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? So people saying the next AJ, listen. Let Atoma be Atoma. Let Moses be Moses. AJ, he's not going to be the next AJ. Let's want him to be better than AJ. Right? Let's want him to be better than AJ. I'm not talking about the endorsements and all that kind of stuff because I want all these fighters to get that. They need to be recognized. They need to improve their brand. That's all the PR stuff. That's different. That's different. I'm not talking about that. That's extra moolah, right? I'm talking about fighting ability. I'm talking about the things that keep you from getting hurt or from getting you in situations like AJ got in fighting Andy Ruiz or fighting Danny Dubois. Those type of things. Let's want him to be better than AJ. Okay? And we got another super chat from my man Buzz. Counterpunch to you coming in with that love bars. Yeah, where you're coming from is fair when it comes to AJ. I'm just not sure that Wilder has it in him technically to be able to push AJ to where he's going to get clipped. Could be wrong though. Well, here's the thing. The thing about it, Muzz. Okay, let me explain something to you guys in total counterpunch that all it takes is one shot. And it's a dangerous mindset from a fighter that knows that reality. And Wilder knows that reality. He believes in it. He has faith in it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. You know what that means? He's going to speak that shit because he believes that shit and he's going to receive that shit. So if he believes, I'm going to knock AJ out. He can box me 1, rounds 2, rounds 3, rounds 4, ding, ding, rounds 5, round 6, ding, ding, bow. Round 7, I got him. Because AJ got a little tired. AJ tried to rally in round 5 and kind of punched himself out. That gives me the opportunity. Hell, all he needs is Ben Davison. Right? Yeah, Muzz with that love. Jay coming in all day. Counterpunch to you. But seriously, no, I think the reality of that is Wilder has a shot because he knows all it takes is one shot. And when a person knows that, he's not worried about points. So that means he's not worried about losing rounds. That means he's not worried about looking bad. He's not worried about that shit. He's worried about that one shot that he can catch AJ with. That one punch, the one shot that AJ might throw a left hook lazy and bow. There you go. You see what I mean? Like that type of thing happens in the sport. And nobody is above getting hit. They're not, I'm too good to get hit by this fighter. No. Because if that was being the case, Danny Dubois wouldn't have done anything to him. Danny Dubois wouldn't have been able to touch AJ because AJ was supposed to be ions levels above. Just like AJ thought, hey, you don't have to beat someone by knocking them out, He said that in the press conference before Dubois got mad because he got tongue-tied because he start getting trimmed. I'm just ready to fight now. I'm fighting. Talking's done. Let's fight. And he did that. And he did that because he was getting frustrated because he didn't want to talk. He ain't a talker. Okay? He's not a talker. My man above Muzz coming in with that love. Counterpunch to you. Yeah, now I see it. Wilder always so dangerous. That's a fact. I do think AJ is good too. Is too good. Maybe that's my UK bias though. Well, you know what? You saying UK bias shows you a lot about your integrity and your honesty. Because a lot of people might be saying it. Maybe that's just me saying, hey, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But no. I mean, it's serious. I mean, when you say that, it could be biased. It's a possibility. So no, I salute you for that. No, that's good. Been beating it to this stream for a hot minute now. Okay. Ask Skip Duck Festival. Wilder received shit on his doorstep in the form of Malik Abd. I think Fury is preparing to fight John Jones, Duck Jones. Yeah, I heard that, man. I have to counterpunch a video by my man True Jordy. He allowed me to use his content. Shout out to True Jordy in the building. So I will do a video, a breakdown of that. I've seen a little bit of it, and then I'll take it for the rest of the way. Fury is trying to take on John Jones. That makes sense because he's already the one that introduced it. Well, he didn't introduce it. It was Floyd, but, he continued it. So it was Floyd with Connor, and then Fury with Ngannou, and then of course Ngannou with AJ, and now he wants to continue it because he knows, like, hey, you know what I mean? I don't have to fight a boxer to get paid. I can fight a guy on my boxing platform to get paid. You see what I mean? So it is what it is. Tomas Galuba, greetings from Poland in the building. Counterpunch to you, Anisa Mara, man. If 50 is willing to fight Kabayel, why Fury is not? Well, that's Tyson Fury for you. That's a good question to ask. Bryce Productions, are you watching Karate Kid boxing? Fury wouldn't want to do MMA. No, I don't think a boxer. If you're smart, if you're a boxer and you can bring someone to your platform, why would you go over there? Because martial artists, bro, there are martial artists that will destroy you and in your life and in your livelihood with one kick, one knee can change everything. You can be blinded in an eye from an elbow that chops you in the eye socket and puts your shit out. So why go over there? Counterpunch. God of War in the building. What's up, fight fans? God of War in the building. School of 50. I'm from America, and I believe that as long as Wilder is being trained by a snake oil salesman, then he won't be able to beat anyone with half a pulse. Do you watch Cobra Kai? I love Cobra Kai, bro. That brings back memories of, first of all, the movies. And I like how they introduce everybody that was in those movies. I like how in the show they brought homage to that, Now Jackie Chan is teaming up with Ralph Macchio, and they're doing a movie together. It's crazy. So, yeah, I watched that show. That show's dope, you know what I mean? It's so nostalgic a lot of times. And they're bringing back old soundtrack songs. You know what I mean? So, it's cool. I love it. I love it, bro. The only boxer I can see having success in MMA is Usyk, since he's apparently trained wrestling. Well, you got to add Terrence Crawford to that too, bro. Terrence Crawford is a wrestler, and he can put you down because he's strong. He got that upper body strength, and he's a lot stronger than you think he is. He's a wiry, strong guy. Not really, Muzz, not really. I mean, yeah, I used to, but not really. Not these days. Not these days. Man, why they don't make an elbow glove? I mean, elbows are more dangerous. Yep. Bow! That will cut you right here. That will put you away. And that's good in street fights too, bro. Get into a bow. Bow! 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 You know what I mean? It's cool. But no. Shout out to Agit Kabayel. I appreciate you guys coming in. The true, the few, the proud, the Counterpunch Boxing News crowd in the building. I will go live tomorrow for Thursday at 3 p.m. You guys, please show up. Muzz, thank you for the love. And everybody else above. Bars. And you guys have been Counterpunch. See you tomorrow. Stay tuned for more content because it's coming by the abundance. And you guys be safe. Peace. Ugh.